Israel. Let's go back 2 weeks. The principal problem that Israel was supposed to fix was that Jews were a minority everywhere in the world, and everywhere they were a minority, they were persecuted. The answer to that problem, if you remember, was, well, we need a state of our own, and we need to be the majority in that state. Guess what? By 2050, they won't be the majority any longer. So, in other words, the whole purpose, the whole foundation of the state of Israel will cease to exist. Let me tell you something. I've spoken to these Hamas guys. I've spoken to the 21% on the Palestinian side who don't want a two-state solution. And they say very, very openly, without any kind of apology, they say, you know what? We're patient. We'll just wait. We're totally fine with this. We're not going to fight Israel anymore. Every time we fight Israel, they destroy us. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to wait. Because soon, all of this will be Palestine. All of it will be ours. Now, that kind of talk scares the pants off of Israelis, obviously, because they think to themselves, wait a second. We put our blood and our sweat and our tears in finally building a homeland for ourselves, a homeland for our own, where we're the majority, where we're not being oppressed, where we can, be safe from genocide and from oppression. And that land is going to last 100 years, and then it's gone. And yet, there's still this sort of lack of will to actually turn this into a reality with two states. That's where we are. If that feels, unsatisfying or depressing, yeah, join the club. This is where we are today. We are no closer. In fact, we're probably further. And we're at a point now where, as I said, if this doesn't get handled very soon, the solution, the two-state solution, will simply go away. There won't be a two-state solution any longer. Okay, well, that doesn't have exactly a conclusion. That's it. That's it. That's where we are. Any questions? Yeah.
With Obama, what happened afterwards? Obama just said that he would do $43 billion and then walked away from it. And then wasn't there any reaction or nothing happened at all?
The reaction in Israel? The reaction in Israel was, aha, now we know. Now we know that we can just say no to whatever the U.S. says, and they can't do anything about it. Because the political pressure here, the pro-Israel sentiment here, and particularly from that evangelical group, is so strong that were Obama to say, oh yeah? Well then guess what? I'm cutting off aid. No more $3 billion. That would be it for Obama. That would be it. There would be no more President Obama. That's how strong the pressure is here. But again, I think and that's what every president has dealt with. By the way, I mentioned George H.W. Bush, the first Bush. He did actually make that statement. There was this really amazing moment in which the first Bush, said to the Israeli government at the time, you either stop building settlements or the money goes away. And that lasted a week. I'm not kidding. 1 week later, the first President Bush was forced to come back and make some statement like, what? Come on now. Just kidding. Just kidding, everybody. In a week, that's how long it took for the pro-Israel lobby in the United States to change his mind. Now, that lobby is much, much weaker. And this president is much, much stronger. And what he has going for him, what Obama has going for him, is that the under 45 age group in the United States, in other words, the age group that has no memory or experience of the Holocaust, has a total balanced view of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. If if you poll people under 45, they say, yeah, both of these groups they've both done bad, they've both done good. There's only one option, 2 states. You poll people over 45, and it's 70-30. 70% say, no, screw the Palestinians. They're a bunch of terrorists. Israel should deserve all of them. So obviously the under 45s are the primary base for Obama's support, which is why a lot of people, myself included, thought that he would be the one president, because he promised he would be, the one president to actually say to Israel, do what I tell you, or else. But, we've been totally and completely disappointed. He has in some ways been much, much worse than George W. Bush. Because with George W. Bush, you knew what you were getting. There wasn't any question. There was no surprise. No one thought they were going to actually get a two-state solution out of Bush. Okay? I mean, Bush had a very simple policy. Israel is always right. The end. Obama came into office with so much expectation. I mean, the Palestinians really thought to themselves, oh my God, somebody who can actually say the word Palestine. Do you know that Obama was the first president in American history to say the word Palestine or the word occupation? The first president in American history to say occupation. So when that happened, people were like, oh my God, this is, I mean, it sounds like such a small thing, right? Forget about being even, forget about being fair. Just say Palestine, say the word, say Palestine. That enough was amazing. But, as we've seen, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened at all.
So you're saying that our nation spends $3 billion on just trying to bring like pieces instead of like helping
No, no,
people?
no. We don't get anything for it. It's not money that we're spending. We just give $3 billion to the Israeli government every year with no strings attached at all. None. Now, by the way, that's just the cash aid that we give them. We also give them about $2 billion in military hardware. And let me explain how this works, because it's complicated and sort of insane. We are we're the largest arm dealer in the world. We supply the world